Welcome back to Is It Still Good, the channel where we watch older films and let you know if they still hold up. Today, we're going to watch a movie I've always considered to be fairly underrated in the zeitgeist of pop culture, however ever present, recently remade, 1991's Point Break. And this film is rated R, runs 2 hours, 2 minutes, and this one stars Patrick Swayze as Bodhi, Keanu Reeves as Johnny Utah, Gary Busey as Pappas, the partner, and Lori Petty, who you remember from Tank Girl, as Tyler. And this was directed by Catherine Bigelow, written by Rick King and W. Peter Iliff. Okay, so the storyline on this Rich is in Los Angeles, California, a gang of bank robbers call themselves the Ex-Presidents, commit their crimes while wearing masks of ex-presidents Reagan, Carter, Nixon, and Johnson. The FBI believes the members of the gang could be surfers and send young agent Johnny Utah undercover at the beach to mix with the surfers and gather information. Utah meets surfer Bodhi and gets drawn into the lifestyle of his new friend. It's a plot synopsis, right? And this is an action crime thriller, rated R, as I said. So, cool movie though. Here's the thing, so I watched it last night, and I was kind of worried that it wouldn't hold up, because I liked this movie when I was a kid, but it's always been a bit of a joke. You know, you always hear people quoting some of the lines. You know, there's some funny lines in it. You know, a lot of this stuff in this movie could be considered kind of schlocky, early 90s stuff. But to me, what I recognized in this film was, this was basically the start of like 90s extremism. This was on like, I believe this is when like Sega was like beating up Nintendo in marketing with like really extreme marketing. Mountain Dew was big back then. And it was like extreme sports were in, such as surfing. This kind of hit at the right time. Anyway, I was really impressed with this film last night, just to kind of cut to the chase. I really enjoyed certain elements of it that surprised me, such as there is setup and payoff throughout this entire film. There are no real throwaway lines. If somebody says something, it comes back later and it ties itself up with a neat little bow. I really appreciate that, and that was kind of a story mechanic that was really prevalent in the 90s, especially like early, mid-90s. Pretty much if something was said in a film, it had to be addressed later on. Now, because of editing choices, financial decisions, and so on, certain scenes are cut from films where there are lines that are mentioned maybe in the beginning that are never addressed later, and I've noticed that in a lot of modern films that kind of annoy me. So it was nice to see that there was really no wasted lines in this film. That and each scene seems to inform the next, and, you know, everything you learn in a scene seems to have some sort of importance in the next one. So the 2 hours, 2 minutes seems to go by pretty quick. To be totally honest, it doesn't take a long time. It seems like a faster film than it is. I really love the chemistry between Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves in this film. They do a brilliant job of blurring the lines between friend and enemy, and you can root either way or both in many cases. Like, in some ways you root for them to become closer friends, in other ways you root for them to catch each other. I think it's especially cool when they both realize who the other one is. When Johnny Utah realizes that Bodhi is the bank robber he's been trying to catch, and Bodhi realizes that Johnny Utah is an FBI agent, and then they hang out after that and don't talk about it. I think it's just brilliant. The way that Bodhi sets up Utah is really clever too. Like, he takes him skydiving after they've already bonded through several surfing adventures, and it's really cool to me to watch them skydive because it's a really peaceful moment. You'll notice upon watching that it's like really peaceful music. In contrast to the aggressive, you know, hyper-masculine nature of the film, the skydiving scene is just lovely. Like, the guys are just screaming about how beautiful it is, and they all try to hold hands in a star so they can, you know, experience it all together. And they root for Johnny Utah to join the circle with them, and he does, completely forgetting that these are bad guys he's trying to catch, so to speak. So this film really blurs the lines between good guy and bad guy, and I always love movies that do that. And then shortly after landing, Bodhi shows a video of Johnny Utah's then love interest, played by Lori Petty, Tank Girl, who used to date Bodhi, being held hostage by one of their more psycho friends who, if Bodhi doesn't get to a place at a certain time, that guy's going to kill her, which makes getting Bodhi to his destination both of their goals now, which was just a very clever move on Bodhi's part. Good writing there, very interesting. And the way that this movie unfolds is like really cool. Again, watch this with a date and showed her the movie, not really knowing if she would like it or not knowing if it would hold up or not, and we both really appreciated this film. It was a really good movie. I see no need for a remake. I know there's a remake of this film, and I have zero interest in watching it. I don't know what it's about. I don't know if it's good. I've heard it's good from some people, but the people that told me the remake was good never saw the original, and therefore, in one ear, out the other. I don't care if they like the remake. I'm not going to watch the remake. Kind of a big part of this channel is pushing back against frivolous remakes, and I don't think that Point Break ever needed to be remade. This is a legacy piece for both Keanu and Swayze, who is now dead. Rest in peace. So I just feel that people should go back and watch the original. And both guys are really excellent in this movie. So it's a really, really good movie. I really enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. And I'm pleasantly surprised to report that I really like this movie a lot. Now, what number score do I give this movie? Here's where I put an ad for my books, and I'll tell you right after. Now we're back. Okay. Number score for Point Break. You guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I'm just going to go with my gut. I watched it last night. I really had a good time with it. It was just a fun, good, decent film. I almost want to give it... Okay, so if you're in the mood for cheese and you can deal with some of the cheesy lines and surfer talk, so to speak, like Anthony Kiedis is in it. He's really funny, kind of over embellished. But then you got guys like Tom Sizemore in it that's like acting up a storm. It was incredible. Got Dr. Cox from Scrubs. I forget his name, but he's hilarious in it.
Yes, the surfboard bothers me. Yes, your approach to this whole goddamn case bothers me. And yes, you bother me!
It's just really, really fun. If you're in the mood for all that, this might be like an 8.3 out of 10. But if you're just going into it cold and you don't know what to expect and you're not really looking for a cheesy sort of early 90s vehicle, I think a fair number score for this film would be 8.1 out of 10. And that's what I'm going to stick with. 8.1 out of 10. Higher than IMDb gave it at 7.3. I think this is a really good movie. It's definitely in my library of films that I would always just kind of sit down and check out. It's fun. The thing about this movie too is you get sucked into it pretty easily. It's not one of those movies where you just catch parts. Like if you catch a part, you want to watch the whole thing. So let me know what you think in the comments of Point Break. If I'm way off, if I've scored it way too high, I'm sorry, but I liked it. I liked it more than I thought I would, and maybe you will too. So again, before you guys agree or disagree, watch it again. That's the point of the channel. So watch the film again because your opinions may change as mine do all the time. And then let me know if you agree or disagree and or what number score you give it. Very important to me. I almost want to take the average of all of our feedback to kind of help me calibrate where I'm at in comparison to where my audience is at on the channel. Does that make sense? So yeah, hopefully you guys bought a book of mine. I do appreciate you. The Unkillable Joe audiobook will be out at the end of this month. I'm very, very excited for that. You should be able to find it in the same place that you find the paperback and Kindle version on Amazon. Remember, Unkillable Joe. My pen name is Joe Vallen, Vallen. You can support the channel by buying my books and leaving a review on Amazon. That'd be great. We also have a Patreon if you're feeling limber and you want to keep this going. But other than that, guys, just your watch time alone is huge. We're trying to get monetized now. We have the subscribers. We're just trying to get that watch time up. So even if you leave this channel on in the background, you hit like on a few videos, that alone would help me out. So pick your poison. A lot of ways to support. Let me know in the comments what movies you think I should do in the near future. I will take it to heart. I will add them to the list. You people drive this channel, not me, and thank you for keeping older films alive. I really appreciate you. In this era of modern schlock with countless remakes and sequels and all this crap, it's really important to realize where all this stuff comes from, right? So, speech over, but I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time on Is It Still Good?
Ha 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 ha!